One day, in a quiet forest, a young man came to meet a wise saint. His face was pale, and his eyes were filled with tears. The saint looked at him and asked gently, "My child, what troubles you?" The young man replied, "I've lost everything. Robbers took all I had. Now I have nothing. No money, no home, and no way to return. People say everything happens for a reason, but how can this be good?" The saint smiled and said, "Let me tell you a story. Once, a terrible flood hit a small village and destroyed everything. A poor farmer and his family lost their house, crops, and food. The farmer sat in despair, holding his head in his hands. His young son tried to comfort him and said, "Father, don't worry. Whatever happened, happened for good." The farmer became angry. "How can you say that? We've lost everything. Go away, boy." Hurt and crying, the boy walked away. Later that evening, a rescue boat arrived and saved the farmer and his wife. A villager said, "Your son was right. You were saved after all." But the farmer shook his head and said, "Saved? We have no home, no food, and my son is gone. What good is this?" His wife replied softly, "At least we are alive. I'll find work in nearby houses. Don't lose hope." The next day, the farmer went to the city to find work, but no one would hire him. He looked at his ruined crops and sighed. "My son is gone. My home is gone. People still say everything happens for a reason. But how?" His wife comforted him. "Be patient. Things will get better." Days passed, and one day the farmer met a saint on the road. The saint asked, "Why do you look so troubled?" The farmer told him everything about the flood, the loss, and his missing son. The saint said calmly, "That's why I say, what happened was good." The farmer grew angry again. "Good? I have nothing. How can you say that?" The saint smiled. "Time will give you the answer. Have faith." That night, the farmer thought deeply about the saint's words. A few weeks later, the farmer got a job in a rich merchant's house. The merchant was kind and paid him well. He even gave the farmer a small house to live in. One night, there was a knock on the door. When the farmer opened it, he was shocked. It was his son. "Father," the boy said, "I went to the city after you told me to leave. I started working at a tea stall and saved some money. I've built a better life now. When I heard where you were, I came to take you with me." Tears filled the farmer's eyes. He hugged his son tightly. He finally understood the saint's words, that sometimes, even in pain, life hides a blessing. The young man who had been listening to the saint said, "That's a nice story, but in my case, I lost everything. What good could come from that?" The saint smiled and picked up a glowing stone from the ground. "Here, I found this in the forest. Take it." The young man looked closely. It was a philosopher's stone, one that could turn iron into gold. He gasped. "If my belongings hadn't been stolen, I would never have come here, and I would never have found this treasure." No matter how bad things seem, time always brings answers. Don't lose faith when life feels unfair. Every struggle hides a purpose. Sometimes, what feels like the worst day is actually the start of something better.